Hi, everyone. It's Tessa.
And Joe.
From the Unveiling Paradise podcast.
Tessa, summer is almost here, and so many of our listeners are about to have their epic destination wedding.
And we are so excited for you guys.
Before the big day, guys, we want you to make sure you listen to these 3 episodes.
Episode 62, Deep Diving Your Wedding Ceremony.
Episode 53, Questions Your Wedding Guests Will Ask.
And episode 31, the final countdown to your wedding day.
And if you're planning your wedding here in Hawaii, hit us up and ask us about our Unveiling Paradise podcast promo.
Happy planning. Hey, everybody. Hey, Joe. How's it going today?
Hey, Tessa.
Are you ready for today?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, good. Because I think this one is a little more serious.
Ooh, I don't think so at all.
I know it's not. I was just joking. But I do think it is a topic that needs to be acknowledged. It might be awkward, but I do think it has to be said.
This actually could be the most awkward of all episodes.
I know, but that's why I'm kind of excited. I love awkward. Today, we are talking about how to be the best wedding guest ever.
Now, the awkward part is we are encouraging you to send this episode to all of your friends and family that you know need some pro tips on how to be a good guest.
Exactly. You always have that one uncle, that one friend, that one person that maybe needs to hear this, not from you. So we're here to do it.
Hi, Uncle. We love you. This is all constructive.
Constructive criticism said with love.
Actually, but that's not exactly true. Some things are in your control. There are some things you have control over, and then there's others that you have no control over, family and friends and that sort of thing. But it's kind of twofold today, right? It's about how to prep your guests and also how to prep yourself for your guests.
Yeah, I think that all makes sense.
Tessa, we have like 1,000 stories of wedding guests acting horribly. I just had a wedding. This was like a couple weeks ago. And literally one of the guests says, I can't wait to get so messed up and get kicked out of here. And you're like, oh.
That's never a good start to the day.
No. Like, that's the vibe that they're coming to the wedding with. They're like, okay, didn't get kicked out, but got messed up, whatever.
Oh my God. Yeah, I just did a wedding too where the couple was telling me one of their best friends basically is part of an MLM, right? The multi-level marketing.
It's like
an
Amway,
Amway or whatever. And basically they used it as a networking event. So they wanted to be seated at a table with guests they didn't know so they could sell Amway to them. And my couple was like, you can't come to our wedding anymore.
They didn't come at all.
They ended up coming, but my couple was angry the whole time.
Yeah. Did they make any money from?
I hope so. I mean, if you're going to destroy friendships, I hope you make money.
Okay, so let's dive into this today.
Welcome to Unveiling Paradise, your go-to destination wedding podcast. I'm Tessa, wedding planner and owner of Fred and Kate Events.
And I'm Joe, wedding and adventure photographer of Joseph Esser Photography. We are based in Hawaii, one of the biggest, most popular locations for destination weddings.
We want to share our real-life experiences with you, give you insight from a professional's perspective, and still make sure you're having fun in the process.
We're huge believers in the fact that planning a destination wedding can be one of the most amazing experiences, and we want to bring you along.
We're so excited to talk with you about weddings, Hawaii, and everything else under the sun.
So pack your bags and let's get started.
Welcome, everybody. Today, we're going to be talking about how to be the best, most perfect wedding guest, and I am very excited about this. I don't know about you, Joe, but recently I have been hearing some horror stories from my couples.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? We've had guests who bring plus ones without being asked or being invited, bringing kids to a kids-free wedding, not RSVPing at all, and just showing up. In addition, I did a wedding where some of the guests kept pulling the photographer to get pictures of them when the photographer was busy trying to get ceremony detail shots.
Right.
So there's I don't know if it's just, the year that we're in or the vibe that we're in, but I feel like guests are just getting a little out of control. I don't know how to say it. So
and it's our job to bring them back.
We're here to check it.
Yeah. Okay. So, everyone's heard of a bridezilla. And we've even heard of a momzilla. I want to talk about the guest-zilla. I think this is a word, but we're going to start this word, the guest-zilla. This is somebody who maybe isn't even conscious of how they're acting, but they just derail your wedding day. Right. So how do we manage the guest-zilla? I love this. Okay, let's get into this.
Exactly. I love that. Okay, can I go first?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one, and this is such an obvious one, and I want to say if you look up anything of like how to be a good guest, this is the number one, and it is RSVP.
Yeah, sure.
And
Simple.
it seems simple, but again, a lot of times when I'm talking to my couples, they're saying, hey, my maid of honor didn't RSVP. My mom didn't RSVP. And while they know they're coming, I think because you put so much time and effort into sending invitations, waiting for RSVP cards back, take that courtesy and fill it out for them. Even if you're like, well, I'm the mother, of course I'm coming. I'm, the best friend, of course I'm coming. Fill out that card and send it back in.
I mean, just let's break it down real simply. Whether you're the brother of the bride or the sister of the groom or whatever, the RSVPs are really used to get an accurate guest count for a lot of things. For seating, for food, for all these things. And if you're not filling that out and you're not saying if they're asking for plus ones or how many you're going to have, that can be really annoying to have to deal with like on the day of your wedding. All of a sudden that guest count is totally different because, you didn't take the time to fill it out.
For sure. And so, quick story is I had a couple, they were destination weddings, so none of their guests live here.
Yeah.
Only about 50 people, so small. And she happened to be at like their welcome dinner at the beach the day before. Randomly, this couple that she invited and never heard from was on the beach, and they were like, hey, we can't wait for your wedding tomorrow. And she was like, what?
Shut
so the
up.
night before her wedding, we're trying to adjust, right? We're at an outdoor venue, so we needed to rent more chairs, more, plates. She had a 6-course plated meal. So we had to go to the caterer. We had to go to the rental company. Like everything had to be adjusted because these 2 people didn't RSVP and just showed up.
Pro tip, right? I mean, I think this is the thing that's most annoying is like if you're a guest, just fill out that RSVP card because you don't want to be the person who's the couple is hounding to find out, are you coming and how many people are coming? Like just do it timely. There's a date that they need those cards returned. Just, do it. It's simple.
Right. And I think on a reverse tip, what I want to say, a lot of couples will say if they don't RSVP by this date, they're not coming. We're not even following up. My tip is to follow up because you don't want to assume they're not coming and then they show up, right? It adds more stress to your plate at the last minute. So while we hate having to hound people and follow up, I think it just makes more sense to get the most accurate count possible.
Okay, so personal story about RSVP. At my own wedding, we actually had people that RSVP'd, yes, and they didn't show up.
Why would they not show up?
Who knows? But like, you just have to keep in mind, like we ordered food for them. There's a huge cost for every guest and they don't show up. That is like, you are a guest-zilla when you do that. I mean, I think it's so insulting. And like, I know for a few of those people, we don't even talk to them anymore because they were,
cut them from your life.
Yeah, they're
they're dead to you.
Dead to us. And like that thing, I mean, it's so frustrating. I know this happens for a lot of couples. Someone RSVPs, for the whole family, and then nobody shows up. That is just like the biggest kick in someone's face, I think.
Agree. I 100% agree. Because again, it's a lot of money and like kind of rearranging the seating chart to accommodate everybody. So if you RSVP, show up.
Yes, absolutely. Or you're going to be on the dead to me list.
Yeah, the hit list.
In that same vein, let's talk about this. Come as you are.
What does that mean?
So what that means is if you RSVP'd 2, don't bring a 3rd, right?
Right.
Like if it says no kids, don't try to sneak your kids in. So come as you are, what you said you were going to do, what the intent of the couple is, right? So if they say this is a kids-free wedding, don't try to bend those rules. There's a reason why they're doing that, and respect that.
I think what's also important is if you are inviting, say, Tessa and her husband, don't bring Tessa and sister. Like you should bring who was invited on the invitation versus, oh, I have 2 seats, I'm just going to bring someone else, right? Like they could have given that seat to someone else that might be on their B list versus you bringing a rando that they don't know.
Again, this is something that we talked about in previous episodes for our couples. When you're doing your invitations, you're inviting your guests, be as clear as day what you want your guests to do. If you're planning a kids-free wedding, make sure that is very clear. Otherwise, your guests might be confused and think that they can bring their family or whatever.
And also, if you are not allowing someone to bring a +1, be clear as well. You know, so it would say Mrs. Tessa Gomes, and that's it. Don't be vague. Just be as clear as possible we have one seat saved for you.
Yeah, I like that when it says there are 2 seats saved for you. That's not like
I know.
there's 30.
I always tell my couple, like, on your RSVP card to put, we have X amount of seats saved for you. How many are attending? Mm-hmm. And it's for these people. These are the names of the people that are allowed to come. Don't switch it up. I have a great story about this, actually. I met with one of my couples last week. So my bride went to a wedding about 2 months ago, and it was just her. She wasn't allowed to bring her fiancé.
So it was one person
One
only,
person on the invitation. It was very clear. Her fiancé was super salty and was like, that's crazy. I don't know why I can't come. Let's not invite her fiancé to our wedding. So just like salty. As they're planning their wedding, as they're seeing, the dollars go up and their money's being spent, he kind of realized, they both realized, oh, this is what, it's expensive. If you start adding +1s to every single person you have, you've basically doubled your count. And does it make sense when you're working on your invitations to invite your friend's husband that you maybe met a couple times versus like a cousin that might not make the list now?
Right.
So it's just kind of understanding, right? They're not trying to cut people just to be mean. A lot of times it's budget related or whatever, but whatever you were given in terms of how many people you can bring, don't expect more than that.
Right. And you can always say no if that's like a deal breaker for you.
Exactly. So if you're like, we're onesies, my husband and I come together, then you can both graciously decline.
I mean, and you never know what the intent of the couple is. Maybe it's like, we are inviting these 10 people because they're all my sorority sisters or frat brothers or whatever it is. And you want them to be together without the distraction of their kids and their families and all that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Again, we don't want to be guest-zillas. The bottom line, don't.
That's my new favorite word.
Don't overreach. Don't, just respect what the couple is asking. And that's huge. You actually have another point that I think is really important. Again, it's a lot of this is just about communicating effectively to your guests, right? And as guests, actually reading and like following what that couple's intent is for the wedding day.
I think the next point kind of ties into what you just said about respecting the couple's wishes. The next tip that I want to talk about is dress code and dressing the part, right? Where we are in Hawaii, it's obviously very tropical. People tend to dress casually. Shorts, aloha shirts, jeans. We've seen people wear flip-flops. Slippers is what we call it here. If it is a black tie affair, or if it is a more, elevated dress code, it's important to state that so people know.
The funny thing is, I've been seeing this a lot. The guests are all asked to wear all white for a wedding. Have you seen that? It's kind of a trendy thing. I love that.
Yeah, I just wear all white to an event.
So awesome if everybody does it. But I always see this. Like, there's one person who's like, oh, you meant that I actually had to wear all white.
Like, not my jeans?
And they're, but I'll see they'll be wearing this like bright tropical dress and they just look so ridiculous.
Well, they can't be in the pictures. You cut them out, right?
Yeah. And the funny thing is we did a wedding, this is pretty recently, and everyone showed up in all white except for one uncle. Oh, and somebody went out and grabbed him and got him a shirt because they were like, this looks totally ridiculous.
Was he embarrassed?
No, I think he was embarrassed. I think he was like, and again, like, I think I would be embarrassed if, like you're coming to this party and you're the one, like odd duck in the room. It's like, of course, right?
I don't want to be the odd duck in the room.
No. And I think, again, it's just like, read, pay attention, like look at the invitation. If it says dress code all white, just do it. Don't be the weirdo.
It just leans into the fact that, any of these things that we're talking about today, the couple has put time and effort into their vision for their wedding.
Right.
As a guest, not a guest-zilla, you want to do everything you can to follow their vision and create this experience that they're hoping for.
Because it actually is a super cool experience when everybody is, I think it's super fun. Like when it's like a theme or, I know you love theme parties.
I love a theme party.
And if everybody's there and it's like everyone's together, it just sort of like this cohesiveness, except if you have the rando that, doesn't follow the rules.
Right.
All right, and literally this just sort of blends into the next point that I wanted to make. If the couple asks for an unplugged wedding, don't get up with your iPad and take pictures down the aisle. Like, there's a reason why the couple has asked for that. They want you to be present. They have hired an expensive photographer that's doing that for you. So again, for all of our guests who are listening, you just kind of like follow the rules. If the couple is saying no shots at the bar, don't be trying to order a tray full of shots for everybody.
I think also, something that I see a lot is couples have a very specific vision for their music. So you don't want to be pressuring the DJ to play the electric slide if the couple was like, do not play the electric slide.
Yes, but I love the electric slide.
Oh my God, what? Can you do it?
No way, I can't dance.
I have to see you do it now. So again, right, I think the couple, and I think we talked about this, right? The couple took a lot of time to curate their vision. So just lean in and enjoy yourself.
All right, this is going to be really awkward to say this, but for all of our listeners, I wonder if you guys can answer, have you been a guest-zilla yet at someone else's wedding so far? You know, were you that one that was pushing shots, or were you the one that was like, you know, didn't RSVP? Okay, we're halfway through, guys, so let's do our checklist at the end to see how many zillas we got out there. Okay, what do you have next for us, Tessa?
So the next one, right, is I think everybody will know for me, like I am a stickler for being on time.
Yes.
And so I think being on time is so important. You don't want to be that person, right? The ceremony is about to start. Everyone's lined up and you're trying to like sneak in down the aisle.
Right.
Get out of the way, right?
That happens all the time.
Every single wedding. And I'm always the one that has to yell at that person. I'm like, get out of the way, because now the photographer is looking at you. You're in the photos. Like, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Be on time. Get there. Take a seat, right? You don't want to stress the couple out with you trying to maneuver yourself in.
Well, and it's not only that, right? It's a lot of times it's the VIPs that, like, it's the parents or like a special aunt or whatever who are running late.
And now we're holding up the wedding.
We're waiting for them, you know, and so your guests are sitting out there in the hot sun and they're like, okay, what are we waiting for? You know, like, is the bride getting cold feet? You know,
right.
But it's the guest that's really ruining that experience.
Right. We did a wedding once where the groom's mother was 45 minutes late. And he's like, we can't start without her. And of course we can't start without her. But, you know, everyone's calling her. And she was like, I'm on my way. Like, are you? Are you on your way?
She's like, as you hear, like the McDonald's person take her order.
The Starbucks person, she walks in with a Starbucks.
Come on.
Be on time.
All right.
Right?
Fair.
That's fair.
Okay, I love this next one. Bring a gift, guys. Like,
but wait.
If you're attending someone's wedding, right? I think there is absolutely an expectation to bring a gift, unless the couple says no gifts, no matter what. Like, bring a gift. I mean, there's so many easy ways to. You don't even need to bring it. Just
so you're not talking about like a toaster.
No, you don't have to. You either are on their registry before their wedding, or, you know, if they're doing a cashless registry, you're doing, you know, sending them a little bit of Venmo love or whatever. Do that. Don't forget that. And I think it's important to just keep in mind that. That's kind of the expectation for a couple's big day. Don't be the one who like skips out, because you know the couple is going to be sitting down after the wedding, going through and writing their thank you cards. And they will notice, I promise they will notice if you didn't give them a gift.
Question for you. Is the expectation for destination weddings that you need to bring a gift?
Okay, so again, I think this all falls under communication. If the expectation of a gift is just being there, traveling, the cost to travel, the airfare, the hotel, you know, all the things that go into like being a guest at a destination wedding, then absolutely not. And a lot of times our couples will state that. They'll say, we do not want gifts, just traveling and taking time off, and all your expenses to get to our wedding is our gift. That's amazing. But again, to all our couples, make sure that you have that scripted and you have that known.
Exactly. And I think that if it's not stated, then the expectation for your guests is to bring a gift, money, Venmo, present, whatever, right? If it's stated, no gift. If it's not stated, assume that you should bring a gift.
Right.
Okay. This is a big one for me, and I feel like you're going to make fun of me again.
I will.
But it's so important. And my thought, to be a good guest, it's respecting the seating chart. The oh so fabulous seating chart.
Right. Never ever attend a wedding that Tessa's doing and switch seats. It's like when you're on an airplane, you don't just get up and go to another seat. Do that at Tessa's wedding. She's going to get you.
Yeah. Well, why would you move seats? Again, like the couple has put so much time into putting people next to people or putting you on a table with people that they think you're going to get along with. Like, why are you moving?
Right. Well, maybe what if you got into a fight with your,
maybe they put you there on purpose for the drama. Stay seated.
Right.
We live for the drama. So stay seated. Do not move.
All right. Respect the seating chart.
Thank you. It's important.
I'm not fighting with you on this one, but yeah.
Thank goodness.
Nobody cares about it, but
Everybody cares.
okay, wedding guests. We got to talk to you about this. All right. Be engaged, right? And what I mean by that is I see this a lot at weddings where that you've got guests that are, playing on their phones and on social media, and they're more interested in what's going on their phone than what's going on around them. Like, put your phones down, or take pictures with them. Be engaged. If you think of all the different things that a couple, prepares for you, they have a Polaroid camera for you to take pictures with. Do it. Be a good sport. Like, if the couple put out Jenga blocks, for you to write a little message, just do it. Like, be a good sport. It's not about you anymore. It's about them. If they have like a signature album, write something in there. It's not a big deal. So I think that's something that, you don't want to be the guys like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, you want to be someone that is a good guest, I guess.
Right. And I think, what's really cool is the couple is doing this not for you per se, but for them. At the end of the day or the next week or the next month, they're going to take out those Jenga blocks and they're going to play and they're going to look at them. They have this vision of all of them signed with, well wishes and notes and whatever. That's their expectation. They don't want to open it and like 5 of them are filled out.
Right.
Same with the disposable cameras or the Polaroids. They have a little album. They want a full, complete album, right? So again, for me, do it. If you see people aren't doing it, help encourage your friends to do it too. Take 2 pictures, fill up that book so when they get it at the end, they're super stoked.
And in that same vein, like if you are the couple, be realistic about what you're going to actually put out for guests to do. I mean, like I've seen weddings where there's just way too much junk and it's like, okay, we got a Jenga block and an album and, and fill in the little hearts and like there's too much. Like, don't overwhelm your guests. Give them like a few fun things to do. Don't overdo it.
Right. My tip is to pick one thing and assign someone to help, make people do it, right? Like I've had people where they have their one cousin and she is in charge of working that Polaroid camera.
Right.
So everyone gets those pictures because she is standing there making sure.
Yeah.
So the next one kind of hits close to home for me as a wedding planner. And it is, do not give the couple a play-by-play of everything that could be possibly going wrong on their wedding day.
No.
So I just saw this quote on social media, I don't know, Instagram or something, and it basically said, your wedding planner probably fixed 20 things at your wedding that you didn't even know about. Mm-hmm. And it's true. That is our job. So if you're hiring a wedding planner or if you're entrusting friends or family to DIY it for you, trust that they are taking care of these things. You don't want to be that Debbie Downer that every 5 minutes is texting the bride like, oh my God, the tent's not up yet. Like, we have it. We've got it under control, or you don't want to congratulate the couple and be like, oh, it's too bad that the appetizers weren't out exactly on time. Mm-hmm. These things will fix themselves. And it's really important for you to enjoy the day and trust that your vendors have it under control.
Right. And you don't want to be the source of all stress and stressful things for that couple. All right. And finally, all the party animals, listen up. Have fun, but don't have too much fun. And you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
I had this beautiful wedding a few months ago. It just got out of control where a couple of the guests got so inebriated, they passed out. They were just done. And like what ended up happening was the groom had to leave the wedding to make sure that they were okay. And it really threw a huge wrench in the day. They had to see, like, these guys were so drunk, they had to bring their uncle, who was, I guess, an ER doctor, to check on them to make sure that they weren't experiencing alcohol poisoning and were going to like pass out. And
it was that bad.
It was that bad. That is horrible to put on a couple. Have fun, but don't go to that place where you are completely comatose. Like
passing out is the worst.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Or the barfing guest-zilla. Nobody wants the barfing guest-zilla at their wedding. Like
that's the worst type of guest-zilla.
It really is. The comatose barfing guest-zilla. Like, don't be that person.
But question, is alcohol the only way to be a bad guest? Are there other situations that you know of or that you've seen where they are not a great guest?
Like smoking meth at a wedding?
I mean, that would be too much, right? Guest-zilla.
Leave your glass pipes at home, guys. Like, just do it, please.
Please do it. Or, I mean, don't do it.
And again, like, it always falls on the couple, right? This becomes now the couple's burden to make sure that you're getting home safely. And like, that's just such a bummer to do to a couple on their big day.
If I can add one more point, not only is it a burden on the couple to get you home safely, if, for example, you drink so much that they have to close the bar early, you've ruined it for everybody.
Right.
You have ruined it for everybody.
Right. So to rewind to my wedding, my crazy wedding where, this girl was comatose, they had to find her an alternative transportation home. She was supposed to go on the shuttle, but they were not letting her on the shuttle. So, I mean, again, that's one more thing that's like, you don't want to have to deal with,
For sure. I wouldn't let her on my shuttle.
Yeah, no. Okay, Tessa, let's recap. How to be the perfect guest. Okay, and again, these are helpful tips for your guests, but these are also things that you can do to communicate and set your guests up for success.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
Okay, RSVP, just do it already.
Come as you are. Don't bring random guests. Don't bring random people. Just come.
Dress the part. If you're the mother of the bride, don't wear a wedding gown. And if you're invited to an all-white party, then dress all white.
For sure. The next one is follow the rules. So whatever the rules they set for you, just follow them.
Nobody wants to see an iPad down the middle of the aisle. If it's unplugged, get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Be on time, guys. Just, it's not that hard. Show up early.
Yeah, even better. Don't be on time. Show up early. Next one is bring a gift. Cashless, cash, toasters,
cash,
whatever they ask for, bring a gift.
All right. And this one is really important to Tessa.
To everybody.
Respect the seating chart.
Yes.
Don't get out of your seat.
Stay in your seat. The next one is to be engaged, right? Be a good guest and just get involved.
And don't be a Debbie Downer who's making notes of everything that goes wrong. The couple does not need your play-by-play notes.
Nobody needs that. And the last one is have fun.
But not too much fun.
Find the line of fun and stay on the safe side.
Yes, you know what we're talking about, guys.
You know who we're talking to. It's me.
All right, thanks everyone for listening to today's show. Again, we need your help to keep this podcast running. So please click on our Patreon site. And if you can, please become one of our Patreon sponsors of this podcast. And again, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow us everywhere that we are at social and all of our broadcast platforms. And we will see you on another episode.
See you later.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Unveiling Paradise.
If you enjoy our show, please follow us and rate us on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. It would really mean a lot.
And don't forget to also get on our mailing list and follow us on Instagram. Just do it already.
Until next time, this is Tessa.
And this is Joe.
And don't forget, your happily ever after
is just a plane ride away.